Damn. Look, I'm sure y'all didn't see it going this way. Y'all went from the pay us what you owe us and everybody supporting y'all to y'all getting on cameras and microphones and pushing all of the support away. It's been a sick job by these WNBA players. We got Marcellus Wiley tearing them a new you-know-what. He lets it be known y'all are too arrogant. Y'all have been way too arrogant throughout these negotiations and trying to win over public perception too much rather than getting the damn deal done. We got to break this down, man. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification.
The WNBA commissioner's resignation exploded across the league just hours ago, plunging the entire organization into unprecedented chaos. This was not a quiet exit. It was a desperate plea for change, final act in a drama, fueled by months of bitter negotiations and a relentless public perception nightmare. The sudden void at the top has left players, owners, and fans reeling, with many wondering whether the league can recover from this seismic shift. Tension had been building for far too long as player demands repeatedly clashed with economic realities, creating an untenable situation that ultimately forced the commissioner's hand. This move marks a pivotal moment for the WNBA, compelling everyone involved to confront the deep-seated issues that have plagued the league for years. Its very foundation now feels under threat, with the future hanging precariously in the balance.
Like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video as well. We got to get into what Marcellus Wiley said, man. You players have really screwed the pooch on this negotiation. I think you've overplayed your hand. The owners ain't giving in, and it seems like y'all in too deep, man. Let's take a listen to what Marcellus Wiley had to say on this whole situation.
No, it's not. Let's keep it real. And that's why on this show, sometimes we get a little pushback. We get a little hate. Oh, well, it's a thin line between love and hate, so we can deal with it, right? But I've been saying this forever. Like, you're never going to get respect when people got...
The commissioner's sudden departure, though shocking, was not entirely unforeseen by those watching closely, particularly in light of recent scathing criticism from prominent voices like Marcellus Wiley. He did not mince words, publicly accusing WNBA players of screwing the pooch during recent negotiations. A brutal assessment that laid bare deep-seated frustrations surrounding the league. Wiley argued that the players had overplayed their hand, alienating crucial public support by focusing too heavily on perception and optics rather than securing a sustainable, workable deal. This blunt critique from a respected media figure only intensified the pressure already bearing down on the commissioner, further destabilizing an increasingly untenable position amid escalating internal turmoil and external scrutiny.
Line between love and hate, so we can deal with it, right? But I've been saying this forever. Like, you're never going to get respect when people got to pet you on the head. When they got to say, oh, good boy, good girl. When they got to rub you, you know what I mean? Instead of just being real with you. I don't need you to rub me. I don't need you to glaze me, as she said. Keep it 1,000. Wow, that's how you get real respect. That's how you get out the small tent to the big tent. That's why I don't believe in identity politics. That's why I don't believe in black excellence. I believe in excellence. People are like, oh, you ain't proud to be black? I was like, no, I'm proud to be excellent. Of course I'm proud to be whoever I am. But that ain't all I am. People be making up these little...
Wiley's critique went even further, labeling the players' approach as far too arrogant throughout the critical negotiation period. He highlighted a troubling disconnect, arguing that the athletes appeared more focused on controlling the public narrative than on achieving tangible progress at the bargaining table. According to Wiley, this strategy backfired spectacularly, alienating the very audience whose sustained engagement is essential to the league's long-term health and growth. Caught between uncompromising player demands and equally unyielding ownership positions, the commissioner was placed in an impossible mediating role, ultimately unable to reconcile these fundamentally opposing visions for the league's future prosperity and stability.
That's why I don't believe in identity politics. That's why I don't believe in black excellence. I believe in excellence. People are like, oh, you ain't proud to be black? I was like, no, I'm proud to be excellent. Of course I'm proud to be whoever I am. But that ain't all I am. People be making up these little sub-worlds so they can be great. You're the best NFL defensive end pass rusher that went to an Ivy League school that's from the hood. Hey, bro, I don't need all that. It's making you delusional. Support and this not if I'm not. Like, this false support and this false confidence, all you do is delude.
The core issue, as articulated by Wiley and echoed by a growing chorus of critics, was what he described as the players' delusional confidence. He argued that despite recent improvements, the WNBA's overall standing is still not strong enough to justify such aggressive demands. Given the league's inconsistent history, this confidence appeared misplaced. After an initial surge in popularity following its launch in 1997, the league's trajectory collapsed for more than 2 decades before its recent resurgence. This historical context, often ignored in current debates, reportedly fueled ownership resistance. As a result, the commissioner was left struggling to find common ground in negotiations that were mired in fundamentally different interpretations of the league's true value and market position.
Hey, bro, I don't need all that. It's making you delusional. Support and this not if I'm not. Like, this false support and this false confidence, all you do is delude. It's making you delusional. So
I have been saying these WNBA women have been being delusional over and over and over again.
Unrivaled ain't the WNBA. And guess what? The WNBA ain't even the WNBA. It's doing better than it's done since it started, but that still ain't good enough. That's why they don't have a deal done. They don't have a deal done because them owners are saying, look, y'all finally doing something again. We started something, it was going great, then it fell off for like 20-some.
This delusional assessment wasn't limited to financial demands alone. It extended into a broader public relations misstep that actively pushed away potential supporters. Wiley likened it to a wedding where everyone shows up for the ceremony, but no one is coming over 6 months later on a random Wednesday just to hang out. The analogy perfectly captures the WNBA's ongoing struggle to convert short-term ceremonial support into sustained, everyday interest, a critical failure when it comes to building a loyal, long-term fan base. The commissioner's resignation underscores the severe consequences of this inability to cultivate genuine engagement, leaving the league exposed, vulnerable, and facing an uncertain future without clear leadership at the helm.
It was going great, then it fell off for like 20-some years. Go back to 97. I remember the first year. WNBA had its highest ratings, and then the second highest ratings are right now. Everything in the middle, cratered. What happened? I tell you what happened. One, we get tired of ceremony. Everybody gonna show up for the wedding. Everybody gonna wish you well with the honeymoon. Who coming over on Wednesday in about 6 months just to kick it? You know what I mean? Go to a wedding. What happens at every single wedding? Everyone shows up. Everyone has to be on time. Don't wear white, honey. Okay, we did it. We sitting there. Nobody really wants to be all, dressed up.
The crisis was further compounded by the league's perceived unwillingness to embrace the fundamental tension that makes sports compelling. Way argued that fans are drawn to sports because of clear home team versus away team dynamics, the natural rooting interests created by contrast and opposition. He claimed the WNBA instead often leaned too heavily into pandering, which stifled the development of authentic rivalries and limited passionate fan engagement. This absence of organic conflict, combined with an overemphasis on universal praise rather than competitive edge and grit, resulted in shallow engagement. Ultimately, this was a problem the commissioner failed to correct, leading to a steady erosion of trust, intensity, and viewership.
Months just to kick it. You know what I mean? Go to a wedding. What happens at every single wedding? Everyone shows up. Everyone has to be on time. Don't wear white, honey. Okay, we did it. We sitting there. Nobody really wants to be all, dressed up and buttoned up, but we doing it. We respecting you, man. You might ask, just say I do. Hurry up. In the city that you live in. So if I'm giving advice to anybody, if you're having a wedding, do not. I'm going to bring it home. Next thing you know, you look at the dance floor, it's only half the people still there. Then that wedding, ain't nobody leaving.
The consequences of this pandering were starkly illustrated by the backlash Candace Parker faced for simply offering a nuanced opinion on Paige Bueckers. Parker refused to lie or pretend that Bueckers was the second coming when she hadn't even made an all-defensive team. She was pummeled for her honesty. This incident perfectly encapsulated the league's media environment, which Rachel Nichols once described as terrible due to its intolerance of critical analysis. The inability to handle constructive criticism, even from respected voices within its own ranks, created a closed echo chamber. That environment further isolated the league and made the commissioner's task of fostering genuine growth and credibility nearly impossible.
All-Star game, 9-foot rims. Fix the WNBA. Because what's going to happen is everybody going to be watching that damn All-Star game like, damn! My God, did Paige Beckers just windmill on somebody? And then you'll be like, I got to see that again. So then we watch a regular WNBA game. We'd be like, boycott. No, WNBA without the 9-foot rims. Be like him.
I personally don't think they need to go. They need to lower the rims and none of that. I'm not siding with any of that. I'm not siding with any of that.
Flow, boy. But before we flow, boy, we check in on you.
I'm telling you, man. I think
The commissioner's struggle was not merely administrative, it was deeply ideological. She was battling against a pervasive identity politics narrative that critics argue further fractured the league's appeal. Way forcefully rejected concepts like black excellence or isolated subworlds of recognition, advocating instead for universal excellence. He observed that players frequently promote slogans such as "Women rule the world," which, while empowering in intent, can unintentionally create a sense of exclusivity rather than broad inclusion. This approach, critics argue, narrowed the WNBA's reach and made it increasingly difficult for the commissioner to unite diverse audiences under a single, sport-first banner. Amid the chaos surrounding the commissioner's resignation, another long-running debate has resurfaced with renewed intensity, lowering the rim. For years, critics like Chris Herring, and even some internal voices, have proposed lowering the rim by 1 foot to enhance dynamism, increase dunking, and elevate the game's visual appeal. Players, however, have largely rejected the idea, often reacting as though it were a personal affront. This resistance stands in stark contrast to the league's acceptance of a smaller ball and a shorter three-point line, highlighting a deeper unwillingness to consider innovation. That stubbornness ultimately undermined the commissioner's vision for growth. The argument for a lower rim is not about diminishing skill, it's about enhancing spectacle. Imagine an all-star game played on 9-foot rims, featuring explosive dunks from stars like Paige Buchers, generating viral moments that funnel attention back to the regular season. This type of fan-centric thinking has repeatedly been met with fierce opposition, exposing a fundamental clash between identity preservation and entertainment value. That unresolved tension significantly contributed to the commissioner's inability to enact bold, necessary reforms. The commissioner's position was further weakened by players remaining firmly dug in on their demands, showing little willingness to compromise. While admirable in principle, this rigidity became a major obstacle in negotiations and public relations. It created an image of inflexibility, alienating owners and segments of the fan base who felt dismissed. This impasse eroded the commissioner's authority and ability to broker a workable agreement, directly leading to the current leadership vacuum. In the immediate aftermath of her resignation, rumors about the league's financial stability exploded. While current ratings are the second highest since the WNBA's founding in 1997, the underlying financial model remains fragile, especially when weighed against 2 decades of declining interest. Owners are reportedly reluctant to concede ground without a clear path to sustained profitability, concern intensified by perceptions of player arrogance. This financial tightrope walk played a major role in the commissioner's decision to step aside, unable to guarantee long-term economic viability. The backlash against players wasn't solely about arrogance, it was about failure to connect beyond a loyal niche audience. Way's argument about earning respect through undeniable excellence, rather than being rubbed or glazed, struck a nerve. He contended that admiration comes from performance, not forced narratives. This disconnect alienated potential new fans who simply wanted compelling basketball, further isolating the league and neutralizing the commissioner's efforts to broaden appeal. Media management only worsened matters. Internal pressure to maintain a relentlessly positive narrative created an environment hostile to honest critique. The infamous backlash against Candace Parker for offering a measured opinion on Paige Buchers exposed this hypersensitivity. Constructive criticism was treated as betrayal. Such an insular culture stifled self-reflection and allowed serious problems to fester unchecked. The broader debate between identity-based framing and universal excellence deepened the philosophical divide. Wei's assertion that people create small worlds so they can feel great rather than striving for undeniable greatness resonated with many observers. This mindset, critics argue, fostered delusion and prevented the league from competing on a truly national stage. The commissioner, caught between these competing visions, was unable to unify the league around a clear standard. Even seemingly minor issues like lowering the rim became symbols of a deeper resistance to change. With a smaller ball, closer three-point line, and shorter game already in place, the refusal to experiment with rim height, even in exhibitions, underscored the league's reluctance to adapt. This resistance weakened the commissioner's ability to implement a forward-thinking strategy amid mounting turmoil. The Indiana Fever's announcement involving Kelsey Mitchell briefly highlighted individual excellence amid instability. Mitchell's overseas playoff success, followed by her numbing injury, illustrated the physical toll players endure, while the league itself struggles for stability. This tension between player welfare and economic survival further complicated the commissioner's final months. Her resignation has amplified the urgency of rebuilding trust and cultivating sustained engagement. The earlier criticism that the WNBA excels at ceremony, but struggles with consistency now rings louder than ever. Without a unifying leader, converting casual viewers into loyal fans has become an even steeper challenge. The ongoing standoff between players and owners has reached a dangerous inflection point. With no mediator at the helm, the league faces prolonged uncertainty. The future of the WNBA now depends on whether both sides can finally negotiate in good faith, confront the league's fragile reality. The commissioner's resignation is more than a leadership change. It is a damning indictment of systemic issues from public relations, missteps, and ideological rigidity to resistance to innovation. The chaos unfolding now demands a radical revaluation of strategy, culture, and economics. The real question isn't who leads next, but whether the WNBA can learn from its failures, unite its fractured base, finally achieve the sustained excellence and respect it seeks.